Welcome to Onivia, League of Legends highlights. These are the best highlights from today's LCK matchup.
The work on the Dragons is going to be what they're taking down. Perfect with a whole massive minion wave here. Morgan misses out on a cannon and a melee, but because it's a cannon.
It's not ideal, and I do think you're hamstrung a little bit because of the power of some of the picks right now. Is Pioshik maybe in trouble?
Yeah, wants to try and get out of here, but there's an all-out from Morgan. And Nature's Grasp comes in, flash, and then the Vault Breaker. Beryl is in position. Can taunt them up if he needs to, but he might be sacrificing himself if he does so. The flash forward from Morgan, and there's the Shadow Dash, but Hepa Pole will result in first blood going over to Fate with a cheeky rocket from downtown.
And then when he does know this is happening and he doesn't have flash, does have reinforcements on the way.
Yeah, Plasma's stacked up, but his health bar is so low. Great Vault Breaker there from Pioshik just to make sure that he's definitely not going anywhere. And now with the three grubs that they advantage in game number one, not being able to quite utilize the Ezreal power though, and thus just sort of fell down to a much more high tempo draft from Bro. This time around, KT have a way better draft, and they also have the high tempo draft. And oh my god, Envy has to use his barrier just to eat through the equalizer, but it doesn't get a whole lot of value. And Pioshik is just dead again.
It's not a great day for Pioshik, Atlas.
It is not. It's also not a great day Dragon for the minute. And we'll now just head back. Barrel in hand. They should be able to lock this one down. Deft moving on in as well. We'll have the DPS to lock down the Dragon.
Do note though, with BRION getting the early Dragon, they can give up a good amount. There also might be a Chemtech here, which I think Chemtech, especially with Ivern coming back, we have actually seen increased value. And I'm going to be honest, Ocean here, it's great.
BDD and Pioshik now towards this bottom side. Perfect just left alone to crush down this turret, and that should be all plates going over to KT in the top lane and first turret blood. That is very, very dangerous. There are a lot of members invested towards this bottom side for Bro as well, as we can see Young Jay and Polo in position. The Barrel's there as well. Stand United still not off cooldown just yet, so BDD does need to be that little bit more careful. But with that turret falling down, I mean, Perfect is just so incredibly massive.
Yeah, for everything in this game, I think BRION do actually have a bit of an angle.
Oh, that's just cease and desist onto Envy. There are 4 members of Bro here, though. It's a trade of ultimates between the two junglers as a result. And Pioshik doesn't die this time, but Beryl eating honey fruit.
On Leandris, as well as Sorkpan Boots, which we're going to be very happy about, obviously.
Yep. Beryl just standing around. That is a teleport in towards his bottom lane. Stand United going to be utilized once again, but they're going to try and blow up BDD as best they can. The culling onto Poli, though, and BDD not even dead yet. He finds a few autos. That's a double for KT in the bottom lane. Perfect taking a lot of damage. They do manage to take him out here as Beryl doesn't have damage himself. That's the Shadow Dash flash, and that was a weird thing to do, but it's fine because KT are also taking out a turret mid and probably the inner as well.
Looks good for a second there for BRION, but KT with the map going very aggressively. If like Envy maybe hits a W a little bit earlier, there's perfect.
Yeah, nice headbutt back onto Perfect. He's being thrown around like a ragdoll. The Flame Spitter still getting a fair bit of work done, but Polo just soaks it up and he'll be A-OK. They are punishing the Rumble here as he tries to get that juicy wave topside.
The gold lead is still there for KT, and they're going to get this this bot side outer as well, but BRION are trading up now slowly and steadily, and we're currently looking at a fed Fate and a fed Envy and 2 fed carries. When there's a Locket, it's definitely going to be something that's kind of tough to deal with. Envy.
Well, yeah, that is cease and desist once again coming in, and Envy gonna have to flash. Beryl not finding the Shadow Dash there, so no taunt onto Envy, but he does have to use both of his summoner spells.
So I don't think it's the end of the world, but they're not really getting anything out of investing a teleport. If you can like turn that shoved wave into some side lane pressure and then rotate over quickly, I think that could have been an angle, but...
No, they didn't spot him! And Pioshik's now going to be seen on the minion wave, as now KT in somewhat of a decent position, but Young Jay, great angle for Nature's Grasp. He's going to throw it in here as Beryl not quite in range. BDD able to move out of the way of the CC, and KT just moves towards the Dragon Pit. they will be able to stay out of trouble. But this is going to be Bro taking down this outer turret. The Dragon is secured in trade for that one. So KT now is sold. He has no idea what's going on. They will now invest the Scryer.
All right,
as
so
now the teleport comes in. Yep.
Should probably dip BRION, but they're not gonna. They're using the Maokai ult.
Yeah, Perfect is going to come in as well. Gets a lot of damage, but it's still the Maokai that's able to lock down the Baron. Morgan is going to go all out, but he's now all out of the fight. If he's just the one sacrifice, though, that is very high value. The rest of Bro, they're not going to be able to make it all the way out just yet, though, as Dev, he wants the Killer Instinct in. He's able to deliver a Shen as well. And Polu, he'll be taken out also. 3 Barons for 2. Maybe you just take that. Maybe that's just fine. It's all about wildlife conservation.
We're gonna
but not Nexus conservation or turret conservation. Okay, they will definitely be taking those down.
BRION, you need to push hard. BDD doesn't have TP.
Yeah.
Like, you need to keep going.
And they are going to look to do that. Equalizer can be invested in this wave.
That's
it's not going to be enough. Yeah, Inhib's going to go down. And BDD is still coming back. Oh man, he could have even pushed forward and tried to get himself a inhibitor turret there, but he actually doesn't do so, so it's just a straight up trade.
Yeah, I think they didn't have that much sweeping done in the jungle behind them, so if they get flanked, you don't want to be the team that over pushes for an inhibitor and then loses from there. But this is a dead even Atlas. KT, I gotta find a pick. I gotta find an individual target and blow him up in seconds.
Ocean Soul on the table as Morgan goes forward aggressively, utilizing that W. There's an equalizer thrown in, and he also gets CC'd. That's a lot of damage onto Morgan. No teleport to bring him back into a fight. Is now Perfect. He has him in the banana brush, and there's the equalizer, but he hesitated for just that little bit. And that equalizer's not going to get the value that it really wanted. Pioshik is diving in to that backline as BDD is layering all the damage. They take down Depth, but at what cost is BDD? He's also executed from this one. The only damage left is Perfect, who wants to turn it onto Envy, and he is still very, very big. But is he big enough to try and take these guys down? He has no flash. He's not getting out, and Morgan's going to get a triple kill. Did you Bro leave in the 2-0, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh, we both know I didn't Bro leave, Atlas. But right now, BRION at the very least gonna get the Dragon.
Felt it in the air today.
I want to highlight here specifically as a Dragon gets taken, so it's not as big of.
They might be the favorites for getting to playoffs, but that's only because it's impossible for Bro to get to the playoffs. 3,000 gold.
He's sitting on the maul as well. And again, you have the Maokai ult. Like, if you're on the objective first, approaching is really, really tough.
Yeah, well, Beryl is going to find a Shadow Dash onto Morgan in that front line. The culling comes down. They keep the Baron leashed as Deft is in trouble. He's just singled out and obliterated. This equalizer is a little bit better, but Envy is still alive. That Mora Malmorty is doing absolute wonders. And KT are being torn to shreds. The Bramble comes down and smashes them, but BDD, he's dancing around the fight. It's now a 1v1, BDD versus Morgan, and Fate, he'll come in so late to the fight after TPing back, and he will end the hopes for KT.
And I think that might be it, Atlas. The teleport is there for Morgan. And Fate, this is a Fed 80 carry. He's gonna shred for this in seconds.
And you might count out Bro when they are still within a shot of the playoffs, but once they are eliminated, once all of that pressure is removed, this is the scariest team in the LCK.
Look at that.
That's an pretty decent arm guard position.
Oh, Yoshi, anywhere near the pit, he has the blast cone.
And he doesn't actually use it to get over the wall. That is going to be the Baron secured here by Bro. They then dive on top of the Lucian, who is in just straight up the wrong position. Morgan is looking for depth as he's just supercharging away. It is now a 5 versus 4 in favor of Bro. They have the Baron. They have inhibitor turrets removed.
Take the inhibs, Bro. You can do it.
I reckon they could just probably follow some minions there. They're pretty tough and strong minions now.
They could, Atlas, but they're going to do this textbook. We're not taking any risks. Everyone to the top lane. Pioshik pulling the wave, trying to deny, but there's a top wave.
And Equalizer is up and available, but these are Baron buff minions. I don't know whether that's going to stop any of them from just marching towards the Nexus. 2 inhibs now down, bro, just with some time on these Nexus turrets. And did you predict it? Did you know what was happening? Bro taking down KT. As Beryl, he'll be cut up where he stands. Poet will die, but he doesn't mind about that one. Deft is on the fountain, nothing he can do, and the Nexus will go.
These were the best highlights from today's LCK matchup. Click that subscribe button faster than Ramus can say,
Okay.
See you on the next one.